All right, hey everyone, it's Asia Dang, and it is your favorite time of the week. Time to talk to Scott for USC Report. Yeah, it is.
The favorite time of the week.
You're like, it is their favorite time of the week.
My favorite time is when I talk to Lane Kiffin, but the reader's favorite time is when we talk.
Right,
so it works out perfectly.
And then they can talk about you.
Yes.
It's a cycle. It's an ongoing cycle.
Maybe you too, so you gotta be careful here.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything anymore. What are you going to do during off season when you can't talk to Lane Kiffin?
I'll probably smile.
He won't have anything to say during off season. So
I'll find something to talk about.
Yeah, I'll find someone else to pick on.
Yeah, but I'll keep you around so you can talk to.
Oh, great! Thanks. That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk sports. USC had a free week this weekend, and traditionally, has bye weeks helped or hindered the team? Or does it really matter against a team like Cal?
Bye weeks usually help a lot because you get to prepare for a team for a long time and you get to get healthy. Lamar Dawson, Amir Carlisle, Torrin Harris are all supposed to come back and play. So they didn't miss a game last weekend. So that's good for USC.
Right.
It'll just be interesting with these Thursday night games. Sometimes you can't predict the outcome. It's a little tricky. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's overall beneficial.
Why do you say it's tricky to predict the outcome on Thursday night games?
Because it just seems like they can be a little weird. USC went up to Oregon State a few years ago with Mark Sanchez on a Thursday night and lost the game. Then on the other hand, they played the Thanksgiving game, people probably remember, against ASU and blew them out. So, you know, it can go either way. But this will be interesting. It's a younger team, USC team. We'll see how it reacts to being the game. You know, everyone watches that Thursday night game because there's not a lot of competition.
Right. Thursday night, 6 o'clock at ESPN. You can check it out. Do you think it's the traveling or just it's not a Saturday, they don't have as long to practice, or what is the deal?
No, I don't think it's the travel because it's only like an hour flight. So traditionally it's not a rough trip. I just think, you know, it's like, even for me, today, it feels different. You know, today is one day early in the week, but it feels late in the week because the game is Thursday. So Thursday feels like Saturday for us. Like, the players have even said, like, on Sunday, it felt like Tuesday. So everybody's kind of got a weird body clock this week with the midweek game. I'm not a fan of midweek games, by the way. Let me just add that. And especially if you read the blog, you know I don't like the fact that the Coliseum is supposedly going to host a midweek game in the next 2 years, according to Pat Hayden, and that's going to create, I believe, a traffic nightmare because the campus here has all these cars with students, faculty, staff. You've got weekday traffic, so I am dead set against the idea of a midweek game, but Pat Hayden told me about a month ago it's going to happen, so we'll hold our breath to find out when that actually takes place because it hasn't been announced yet.
Well, you're going to be a real chipper fellow for that Thursday night
game,
aren't
you? I'll make you go with me, so we'll have two people that are happy to be there.
Great. Excellent. Sounds
I'll
like
let you look for a parking spot. How about that?
Hey, I have my USC parking spot, so good luck with that. We can carpool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We won't hit traffic, and we'll get a carpool spot on campus.
We'll carpool and park on campus, and we'll party, do some little pregame.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and then have some fun.
Something, yes.
A little something. We're not going to say what it is.
Water.
Right.
Yes.
Water that makes you go like this when you drink it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
My type of water.
Yes.
Okay, so George Farmer is going to be making his debut against Cal on Thursday. What do you think about him not being redshirted anymore, and what is going to be his role for the team?
I'm kind of ambivalent about this whole bringing George Farmer out of his redshirt year. I mean, if he was as good as they're saying, they should have been playing him sooner in the season. I think it's a little unfair to him. His freshman year is going to be 6-7 games now. He's playing tailback, also a spot he has not played before. I'm really hopeful that the first time he gets the ball, he's not playing tailback and carrying it, because I think that's potential for a fumble. I hope they throw a little swing pass or put him at receiver and throw a little safe route so he can get a hit with the ball in his hands and get a little more accustomed to playing, because I think that's unfair to put him at tailback when he hasn't really done it, and it's midway through the season already and he hasn't played in the game. So, hopefully he'll be an explosive presence. That's what Lane Kiffin's kind of hinting at. He's talked about home run threats, for explosive plays, and they want more of those. So I think it also says something about the defense, that he feels he needs another weapon offensively right now.
Well, you did kind of last week, didn't have the kindest things to say about the defense. Have you seen them during practice kind of improve on your criticisms, or?
No, I think it's going to be one of those things where they'll have to play and prove it. Cal, has been up and down offensively this season, but potentially they can put points on the board. So I think it's going to be a good challenge for the defense, especially if the quarterback, Zach Maynard, is running a little bit. He can be dangerous running, which they usually don't want him to do for some reason. But if he scrambles, that creates problems for the defense. So I think it'll be a tough test for them.
Okay, well, speaking of offense, of defense, wide receiver Marquise Lee has been doing excellent this year. Do you think USC almost dropped the ball in his recruitment?
Yeah, it's funny because it seems like all they talk about now is the Sarah high school players. I'm kind of like all you want to talk about is your dumb Punahou players in Hawaii.
What?
Sorry.
They're good, okay? What? Dumb?
Well, my bad. I slipped there. But anyways, I got off topic. The Sarah players, so there's Robert Woods, Marquise Lee, George Farmer. That's all everyone's talking about right now. And what's funny about that is Marquise Lee is having the best season of the freshman right now. And USC waited forever to offer him a scholarship. They brought him here early. He came to a basketball game, and then they kind of stopped talking to him. And I kind of investigated this, and what happened was the coaches, i.e. Lane Kiffin,
in quotation marks,
yes.
like he's not a real person.
Well, that's a debatable fact.
Continue.
Yes, anyways. See, we're getting off topic here. But anyways, he couldn't decide what he thought of this kid. And they kept looking at him, evaluating. It was odd to me they waited so long because he was rated the 36th best player in the nation. And Oregon and Miami and a lot of other schools wanted him. So finally, they did offer him. And obviously, he wanted to go to USC from the beginning, like a lot of Sarah guys, Southern California guys. Right. So he did come, and it's all worked out. But it shows you that coaches are not perfect or infallible when it comes to recruiting evaluation, and they don't know a lot of the times, just like the fans and stuff aren't sure or think guys are good and they're not. So everybody's capable of making mistakes, and this is an example where USC lucked out in spite of itself.
Well, everything works out for a reason, I guess, right?
It worked out great for Marquise Lee because he's having a huge season. So, that's good for him. He didn't go to Notre Dame, of course, but nobody's perfect in your eyes, right?
Or didn't come from Punahou, this kid.
Right.
I can't tell you.
By the way, I don't see you attending Notre Dame's graduate school. Let's make sure about that.
What can I tell you? I love my boys on Notre Dame, so sorry about it.
By the way,
they smashed Air Force. That's all I gotta say. So
we should let people know, in case they're wondering, you are a graduate student at USC.
I am a graduate student. I'm getting my master's in broadcast journalism. So I guess it would ease the pain a little bit because I didn't get my undergrad here, so I don't really have an allegiance to USC.
It would be a little colder if you were at Notre Dame right now, by the way.
Oh gosh. Hey, it's going through like a heat moment right now. Okay?
Yes. It's going through one here too, apparently, this week.
Right. Well, okay. Sorry. Speaking about Marquise, rumor has it that he might be considering playing basketball. Lane Kiffin has said that he thinks it's good to, have his players continue that competitive spirit throughout the year. What do you think?
His senior year in high school, he really talked about how much he wanted to play basketball and told me he wanted to play basketball. And now he says he's going to have to decide. But I think what's happened is this explosion, football-wise, has kind of made him think, well, do I want to play basketball? Is that going to detract from football? And I see it happen here so many times with guys. They come here and they say they want to do two sports, and then what happens is they start to play football and they get a little worried they're going to fall behind, or the coaches tell them, if you want to start, you got to focus on football, and then they don't play the two sports like you think they're going to. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. If I had to bet now, I'd say he's not going to play basketball, but he's officially not decided yet. But that's going to be something interesting to see, because Lane Kiffin said he wants him to play. At the same time, he keeps talking about how great it is. He's focused on one sport now, unlike in high school, and that's helped him physically develop. So, all that time he's going to play basketball, he'd probably be lifting weights with football if he didn't play. So we'll see what happens there.
Right, and it would be kind of tricky just in case, like, maybe he would get injured during basketball season and we'd have to get surgery, and then we'd lose him.
Yeah, so, that's a risk too.
Yeah.
So that's another factor he has to take into account. Does he want to play? And then, a lot of these guys talk about track too. Woods is talking about running track. George Farmer was a great sprinter. And do they want to take away from their football time and do track? So there's a lot of dilemmas for these guys too.
I guess we'll find out.
Yes.
After football season, we'll
as
find
they
out.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right, let's get back to Cal. How important is this game for the football team and Lane Kiffin?
I think this is a huge game because you've got to win these games that people expect you to win. They can't. If they lose this game, then they got to go to Notre Dame, and they're not going to be feeling good about themselves. So they got to get this game. Is that a face you were making? I have peripheral vision, by the way. Yes. We'll talk about the Notre Dame game next week.
Yes, but I'm not going to say anything.
But they got to get to 5-1. You don't want to be 4-2 going into Notre Dame, and then you've got Oregon, Stanford coming up. Washington is now a tough game. So I think if they win this game, they'll have good momentum. If they lose, you're going to see a lot of these fans really angry, and then they're just going to be waiting for these other losses to come, and all that is heat for Lane Kiffin. So I think it's very much to his benefit to win the Cal game on Thursday night.
Okay, so let's get your predictions.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen on Thursday?
I'm going to predict, I think USC will win the game, mainly because I think they'll be able to score points, and I think they'll just outscore Cal. So I predict a Trojan victory, probably in the 7 to 10 point range, I'd say. And we'll see if I'm right or not. Who knows what I know? But let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to win that game?
I mean, I feel like I have to say USC because I'm going to say Notre Dame next week.
Yes. Okay. We've all gotten our fill of Notre Dame today.
Yeah, I know. I think we'll stop. Yes. We'll stop on a high note.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm Asia Dang. You are
Scott Wolf.
Check us out at InsideSoCal.com/USC, and don't forget to watch the game on Thursday, USC versus Cal at 6 p.m. on ESPN.